morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Time is 8:31. I call this meeting to order. Do we have any excused absences this morning?
We have two, Lene Wells and Troy Butler.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, any public comment on agenda items this morning? All right, hearing none. Any conflicts of interest? All right, move on to our approval of the minutes from our July 23rd, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Any comments or edits on the minutes? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our next item are the interim financial statements as of June 30, 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So these are preliminary financials for the authority as of the end of June. These are preliminary statements, so year-end statements will be provided once the city audit is complete. As of the end of June 30, the authority is in a strong position going into the coming year, has spent about 81% and 30% of its budgeted appropriations respectively. Statement A reflects that strong cash balance as part of your asset balance. Statement B has been updated with the year-end revenues and whatnot for the different projects. And then Statement C are all of the expenses that we would seek your approval for that occurred in June. And I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Any questions on the financials? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving to our action items. The first is a resolution approving a Brownfield plan amendment for the 443 Sheldon Avenue redevelopment project located at 443 Sheldon Avenue Southeast. Do I have a motion?
Support.
Kenzie?
Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to bring forward this project, which I know you all are familiar with as well. This was an Emerging Developer Award that we did earlier this year. So I'm very excited to bring this back for additional support in the form of an Act 381 Brownfield plan. So this is a really exciting project that's proposed at 443 Sheldon Avenue Southeast, which is a land bank lot. So we're, again, excited to see this one kind of come through from a development standpoint. The development team is intending to redevelop the vacant parcel into a 26-unit multifamily residential building. So this particular property is located in a neighborhood of focus. And as I mentioned, there are going to be 26 residential units. 20 of those are expected to be priced for households at or earning at or below 120% of area median income for Kent County. 6 of those units, so 20% of the project, is going to be priced for households earning at or below 60% of Kent County of area median income. So we're very excited to see those numbers. And then the breakdown of these 26 units, 4 of them will be studios, 19 one-bedroom units, and 3 two-bedroom units. All in, it's about $5.4 million in total project costs, $4.8 million in total construction. And we are also very excited to see the inclusion plan goals on this deal, about 15% or $750,000 of the $5 million in construction costs. And again, they're coming in requesting Brownfield TIF support in the form of housing specifically, all in about $3.8 million in eligible activities. And again, as I mentioned before, there's going to be a 25-year of affordability for those 6 units at or below 60% of area median income. And so all in, the potential rent loss for this particular project is valued at about $3.1 million, or about $123,000 per unit over the course of 25 years. Construction is anticipated in March of 2026, and project completion anticipated in February of 2027. And I do have Bryce Hansen from the development team and Jessica Solis from SME, who they're all working together on this project, that are here to share a few words about their experience and answer any questions that you might have.
Good morning. Well, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone for being here today and for once again considering our project. Mackenzie, as always, gave a great overview of the nuts and bolts of the project, so what I'd like to focus on are some of the more uncommon components that don't typically make the headlines. What I'm referring to, and what I believe Troy referred to last time I was here, are the curveballs of the project. What people don't know about are the countless no's I received over the past year and a half from investors, general contractors, lenders, you name it. It hasn't been easy being a new face in the development community, but with each no, each curveball that came, I continued to step up to the plate, dig my feet in, and take a swing. With every 10 no's came a yes, and every yes led to more confidence, more momentum, and more belief in myself. Now, I always believed in the project. I always knew the potential it had to bring much-needed housing to the city. That was the easy part. The hard part was getting people to believe in me and to believe in the vision. Slowly but surely, they did. Each yes wasn't just another step forward. It was a reminder that persistence pays off. Now, we're at a critical point. Over the next month, we'll work to secure commitments on TIF, a pass-through from the DDA, and a My Neighborhood grant from MSHDA. These programs are vital, not just to the financial feasibility of the project, but to the chance we have to bring new homes and new opportunities to Grand Rapids. So today I'm asking for your commitment to take us over the next hurdle. With your support, we can move one step closer to not just making this project feasible, but a true home run for the community. James, Jess, and I are here to answer any questions that you have on the project, and I just want to say thank you again for taking your time and your consideration.
Any questions for the applicant?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks for the presentation and the overview. And yeah, I know sometimes it's like you come and then you come back again. But I just had, Mackenzie, you had mentioned the land bank. Has the option been exercised with the land bank then?
There is an option.
Okay.
Property. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Bryce can talk a little bit more too, just about the official,
Okay.
purchase piece of it. But yes,
Got
there
it.
is an
Okay.
official option.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the option agreement started in March of this year, and we plan to execute at or before March of next year, right before we break ground.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I know it's not the land bank meeting, but, you know. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the applicant? Okay, well, thank you, Bryce. Good luck,
Thank you.
and look forward to seeing you hit the home run here.
Appreciate it.
All right. Okay, we have a motion on the table then. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our next item is a resolution approving a Brownfield plan amendment for the Powers Place redevelopment project located at 764 and 800 Powers Avenue Northwest. Do I have a motion?
Support.
All right, Mackenzie?
Hello. Again, we're excited to bring forward another project that came through for an emerging developer grant that is now coming through for tax increment financing award. And again, this is a project located at 764 and 800 Powers Avenue Northwest. It's going to be infill redevelopment of a vacant lot into 8 townhomes. And so it's in the West Grand neighborhood. The West Grand neighborhood is supportive of this project. We have a letter of support when this all started, so we're very excited about that. As I mentioned before, 8 townhomes, and one of those 8 units units are expected to be priced for households earning at or below 100% of AMI for Kent County. All in, the project's going to be 5 one-bedroom units and 3 two-bedroom units. I did want to pause briefly and just say that part of the request this morning before you is regarding the one unit. The 1 out of 8 units is less than 20% of what our policy currently asks for the housing TIF guidelines. So again, this would all in be about 12.5% of the project. And our development team's going to be able to share a little bit more on this, but all in, there's significant site preparation that's needed for this site. And so again, just to be able to help the development team, it is an emerging developer project. We are really encouraging of the fact that this is going to be, one unit that is going to be affordable for 25 years, the length of the Brownfield plan. So we're asking essentially for a waiver of the policy from 20% of the project for affordability to lower that to 12.5% for this particular project, just given the nature of everything that's happening on the site itself from a development standpoint. So again, happy to answer any more questions about that piece in particular, and I know the development team's going to share a little bit more about that here in a minute. But all in, this particular project's about $2.7 million in total project costs, and we have significant inclusion plan goals as well on this one that we're excited to share. All in, about 20% participation, or about $500,000 of the $2.4 million in construction costs. And the housing TIF portion of this request, all in, is about 1.1 in eligible activity costs, 1.1 million in eligible activity costs, and 25 years of affordability, again, as I mentioned, for the 1 unit, qualified for anyone that's making at or below 100% of area median income. And as a part of that, the potential rent loss for the entirety of that unit would be valued at about $80,000, or approximately $3,200 in rent loss annually is kind of how that is broken out. Construction is anticipated fall of this year, so coming up here, and then anticipated in about a 12-month period, so fall of 2026. And again, I have Adam Rogalski, who is the developer for this particular project, who's being supported by Joe Augustinelli of Michigan Growth Advisors. So I'm going to invite them up right now just to share a bit more about the project and kind of what they've been up against, and again, here to answer any more questions that you might have.
I want to follow up with you on something. This is the first time I remember waiving.
Yeah.
And so help me understand why I'm doing that. It's not based on the fact that it's a small number of units, but it's based more on the infrastructure and things that they need to go. How does that correlate?
Yep.
Why? Yeah.
So I think a good segue into that is the initial request. So our policy also requires that the length of affordability is a minimum of 10 years or the length of the Brownfield plan. So in this case, the request came in asking for 10 years of affordability. The Brownfield plan is actually 25 years of affordability. So as sort of a compromise, right, we've asked that the development team keep the 25 years of affordability and lower it down to 1 unit. So again, that drops their percentage of affordability for the project down. And so that our interim policy guidelines at the moment say that we're asking for 20% of affordability of the entirety of the project. So again, this is kind of the first time that we've requested this, and certainly open to conversation about that this morning. But yes, I did want to provide the development team some time to just kind of talk about the entirety of the project and kind of what they're up against from a development standpoint.
So it has more to do with the development issues than it does with the number of units.
Yes.
Okay. And is this the first time you've seen this?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
it isn't like we need to revisit policy.
No, and so I think Sarah can jump into a little bit about what we're discussing from a policy standpoint, just around housing TIF and the guidelines that we have currently that are interim. So I think that she might be able to add more context to these conversations as well.
Yeah, I'll let the development team step up here quickly, but just commenting that, yes, our guidelines are October 23 interim guidelines. And so we have met a couple of times internally as a department to talk through those. And I think that we do need to polish them a little bit and make them final. But these are the kinds of circumstances that are coming across the desk and really prompting more of a look on those. So I think that you could anticipate that happening in the next 6 months. We're going to follow the same process that we did to put those in place.
Okay. I'm not suggesting we change policy just
Oh,
because
no.
we have one request.
This is
but
one
if
of-
this is something you're seeing
There's a-
behind the scenes yet to come? I was just curious.
Yeah,
if
no,
it's
I just want to
something we
just
revisit.
state that this is not an only I mean, there's many things that are being presented as we make our way through varying sizes of projects across the portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think, I guess as I understand this at a high level, it's really, I guess, some variability in percentages, but ultimately, we're ending up with affordability for
Right.
a longer period of time.
Right.
But just given the structure of this project, some of the challenges with redevelopment efforts, the trade-off is a smaller percentage, but greater period of
Right.
affordability.
Right.
So, Commissioner.
Thanks. I had the same question too, Lynn. I was like, I haven't been on the Brownfield as long as you had been as well. And so I think that's my question too, whenever we look at a variation. Who else might have had a variation like this but didn't get to this point? That's my concern too, if you're saying, I'm kind of seeing this, but sort of what makes this project get to this point where they could come and ask for an exception in others. So I think that's something that I'd like to know. And maybe even before I would make a decision, I'll say.
Sure.
I'm happy to listen to Adam and to Joe. But I think that is kind of always the question when we have these things in front of us, sort of like who's navigating, what else is missed and what maybe is not letting somebody get to that next line. So I just wanted to say that for the record as well. Thanks.
Appreciate that. We haven't seen this ask before, from my perspective. Okay. The other things that are coming to light are more around AMI and just the ranges, right? Versus what a project can, what a performa can work, right?
I think that's kind of my point, is this can be the way it's shaping out in this project, but have there been other circumstances?
Sure.
Where, and so I think that's where, I think our job is to think in totality of that, of
Sure.
where else is this missing and why are we doing it in this instance, or how do we, because I think once you open something, you open something.
Understood.
So thank you.
Adam and Joe, would you like to share a few words?
Yeah, good morning. Joe Augustinelli, Michigan Growth Advisors. I'll try to address the sort of Brownfield policy technical stuff first, then let Adam talk about the project. I want to just say thank you to staff as we've been working through this, as was discussed. Big picture is we're working on these housing TIF projects kind of all over the state. What we're seeing is, there's a finite amount of TIF that's generated by the project. And that TIF dollar can only be spent once, right? So you're either spending it on the hard costs associated with the development project, the site prep, the infrastructure, things like that, or you're spending it on the affordable housing gap subsidy. So on a project like this, we had a very, very high site preparation cost. So the site's essentially graded like this. Not like this. And it's very shallow. So in order to develop the site, there's this huge retaining wall that has to be built in order to get a flat piece of ground to build on. And that retaining wall is really expensive relative to only building 8 units on the site. So that basically consumes the entirety of the TIF. So one thing to point out is if this was a facility or a contaminated site, we'd be talking to you about a market rate project that was TIFing for site preparation without any gap subsidy at all. It's not contaminated, thankfully, and so it's qualifying as housing property. Therefore, it is coming in under your new interim guidance for the housing TIF program. So that's one kind of component. But I think it was mentioned before, when we first modeled this, we were trying to comply with the other side of your policy, which is 20% of the units, which we had proposed to the city, but only for a 10-year period, because that was the duration of time that there was enough TIF to support that gap subsidy for. So the back and forth we had with staff was, again, there's only so much TIF here to fund the project. It's sort of yet to pick one. Is it the number of units or the duration? So we went with the duration, so longer period, but only the 1 unit. So that's just a little bit of the context there. But the big driver of cost here again is is this retaining wall, which is like $250,000 of the project. And Adam will talk to you a little bit more about some of the surprises as an emerging developer that he's encountered on this site as well, that is, causing the wall was a lot more expensive than anticipated. So that's the context. Let me stop there. Maybe let Adam kind of explain a little bit about the history, and then we're happy to take some more questions, if that's all right. Great. Thanks.
Thanks, Joe. First, I just wanted to start with gratitude first to the staff, Director Renero, Mackenzie, Christian. All of the entire staff has been overly accessible to me for the last year, very transparent. They certainly haven't given me the answers that I've always asked for, but they've been available and they've been straight shooters. So for that, I think I just want to say thank you. The board should be grateful to have a team like that behind them. Secondly, I wanted to thank the board in front of me, Chair Edwards and commissioners. Earlier this year, you supported this project with an emerging developers grant. That faith that you put in me, that was very meaningful. I'm not sure that I'd be standing here today presenting this second request if that first request had not been approved. 764 Powers has been under active development and pre-construction for a year now. The site will consist of 8 townhome-style units and available next year. My connection to the neighborhood goes back to 2009 when my wife were married. We moved into a house around the corner. In 2011, we brought home our daughter to that same house. I wanted to just share a few updates on the project. There's been a lot of momentum, but there's certainly been setbacks. I'll focus on the momentum first. We have civil and architectural sets in front of LUDs for review and feedback. Community engagement continues. All of the neighbors with adjacent parcels have my personal contact information, and I've been in regular communication with updates and feedback from them. I've also have support from the West Grand Neighborhood Association. However, it hasn't been easy. There have been significant setbacks. Last September, my architect unexpectedly passed away. It was jarring. This project means a lot to me, but I would just encourage everyone to check in on people. You never know what people are going through, independent of what may present from a day-to-day standpoint. Last week, we had a detailed estimate on this retaining wall. It was double the cost of what the quote was earlier on in the year. As a result, we had to pivot and redesign the wall and the site. The units will stay the same. The townhouses will stay the same, but it's just a real another example of the unexpected challenges that come as an emerging developer. I know that it's only 8 units. I know that there's a housing shortage in Grand Rapids, and I'm hopeful that even though it's a small project, that you'll consider support of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on this, Commissioner?
I think, I want to put this project aside for a second because, Adam and Joe just came here on this, and I think this is more about the structure piece. So I think that we need to convene a smaller group then to that point, if you're seeing that, and how can we, help to review those pieces, and I'm not saying that it's got to be me, but I think a smaller group to do that is so if there are other variations as we're seeing different things, just you said double the price of the retaining wall. So, just kind of to understand what is happening in the marketplace, I think would be helpful. I'm prepared to move forward and to approve this project. I think the affordability piece is, if I kind of rank where things are at, it's never say just or only, because you're doing eight spots, Adam. And so I think you're making a dent in a really big project, in a really big problem that we have. So I always say never say only or just, because it's important work. And I think it's a different type of housing. There's a lot of different aspects of this that make this an attractive program, and why we, did that emerging developer grant, back then. I think this is more about what we need to do internally and probably less about this project, because we can say, hey, an overall priority for us is going to be, again, we're not the land bank board, we're not the affordable housing board, but knowing where affordability fits into the work that we do. So given that perspective and that willingness to do that, I'm prepared to move forward to support this project. Thank you.
Yeah, well put and agreed. And I think, again, it's important to remember that, these are guidelines, and we're obviously going to have different challenges coming before us with how to get these types of projects done. So I definitely welcome the opportunity to convene as a smaller committee, and we can go through some of that and do some fine tuning. So.
Yeah, I think the emerging developer in this instance, the grant itself kind of sussed that out, right? So if it came in at 2 units, and here we are, knowing more. So I think it's doing exactly what we want, but yes, it could use some refinement from a policy perspective.
Thank you.
Okay, well, appreciate the good discussion. So we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, our next item is a resolution approving a work plan and execution of a development and reimbursement agreement for the Annex Fulton redevelopment project at 657 Fulton Street West. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Kenzie?
All right. Hello again. We're excited to bring this particular project back for its final local approval. So this project is known as the Annex Redevelopment Project, located at 657 West Fulton. This has all been approved locally at the City Commission level, and also came before the BRA several months back. But just as a quick reminder, this particular project is construction of a new 3-story buildings with a connected walkway, as you can see with the rendering that is shared on the screen, and about 400 square feet of ground floor commercial space is anticipated for the project. 24 parking spaces are going to be located behind this particular building, and then all in about 23 apartment units, 21 of those being studios and 2 of them being 1-bedroom units. And then all of those units are going to be restricted for units at 100% of area median income for a period of 18 years, which is the length of the plan. All in, the eligible activity costs for this project are just shy of $1 million, so about $959,000, and anticipated construction later this year, and then completion in winter of 2026. So happy to take any questions on this one, but this will be the final approval locally before we send this off to the Michigan State Housing Development Authority for their consideration.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Any discussion on this one? All right, hearing none, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our next item is a resolution approving an Act 381 work plan and authorizing execution of a development and reimbursement agreement for the Pleasant Hills project located at 539 New Avenue Southwest. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right. Again, this is another request for approval of an Act 381 work plan. So this particular project, as you guys are familiar with, Habitat for Humanity is developing this particular project at 539 New Avenue, which is their current warehouse that is going to be demolished to make room for this really exciting 5-story multifamily building that'll have 27 for-sale residential units. This is an exciting project that, again, has gone through all of the local approval processes from a BRA standpoint and City Commission standpoint. $10.5 million in total project costs for this one, and housing TIF, again, on this particular project, and about 2.6 of that in eligible activities that is being requested from a reimbursement standpoint. And again, 16 of those 27 for-sale units are going to be held for income qualified units for the period of 25 years, which is the length of this particular plan. Construction in March of 2026, and then completion in June of 2027. And again, this is kind of the final step before we send this off to the Michigan State Housing Development Authority for consideration.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Any discussion on this one? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next up, emerging developer grant in an amount not to exceed $98,500 for a project located at 1024 Martin Luther King Jr. Street, Southeast. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Kenzie?
Alrighty. So we are excited to bring forward an emerging developer grant. We actually have one after this as well. So we have two this morning we're very excited about. Both happen to be on Martin Luther King Jr. Street Southeast, so excited to see the development happening there. This particular project is located at 1024 Martin Luther King. The intent is to build and redevelop the vacant property that currently exists on the site and redevelop that into a mixed-use development that would include a daycare center and then youth after-school programming as well. So all in, the total project costs are still in sort of that estimation standpoint, but about up to $600,000 in total development costs for this one. And the Emerging Developer Grant has been requested to cover the following pre-development expenses, including the environmental site assessments that would need to take place on the site, so the phase 1 and phase 2, and then the geotechnical services as well. Architectural design services, and then pre-construction consulting and development services. The total grant, as noted previously, is about $98,500 that's being requested. Latrice Hampton is the developer for this project. We're really excited to have her here with us this morning. She is being supported by Peter Scornia with Sella Building Company. I know that Peter had a conflict this morning. I know he was here briefly, but he might have since had to leave us. But I wanted to invite Latrice to share a few words and talk a little bit more about the project and answer any questions that you guys might have about this one. And this is, just want to quick introduce, this is Emma Wilkins with Sella Building Company as well. So she is here on Peter's behalf. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course. Hi, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to the board. I'm Emma Wilkins. I am the project manager for Sella Building Company. So we are very excited to work with Latrice on this project. I'll let her explain how she got the property, her other business that she has, and how she thinks this will be a successful business in this area for the community and for bringing back to the area that she used to be in.
Hi, my name is Latrice Hampton, and I just purchased the Martin Luther King project. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I have a bachelor degree in family study with a minor in child development. I have over 20 years of working with family and children. Currently, I do have a child care program in the 49508 area. So I do a Great Start program as there. Because I was born and raised in the 49507, I thought about just bringing that as well into the inner city that I was born and raised. So that's why I would like hopefully to get the child care / youth program for the families that live in the 49507 area. Any questions? I'm sorry. I don't know. This is my first time, so I'm kind of nervous. So
You're doing great.
yes.
I just wanted, Ms. Hampton, how long have you owned the property, you said?
So I just purchased this
Purchased it.
particular property back in May.
Okay. And you said that you have, what's the name of your business? You look so familiar.
Langley Child Care.
Langley
So
Child Care,
yes.
okay.
So
So you said you're, is that infant to, what age are you doing? Just-
So I have a Great Start program.
Okay.
So it's
Oh, you said
a
Great Start.
readiness program. So we
Yep.
get our 4-year-old children ready for kindergarten. So we just give them all the emotional, social skills, the writing skills, the literacy skills, the mathematic component to get them ready and get them confident for kindergarten in the
Okay.
fall.
So do you think you plan to do like a Great Start site at this one too?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Do you have an idea on how many kids you'll be able to support?
So it's based off licensing. So it will be determined based off how many square footage that we in that facility. So the licensing, so every 35 square foot is one child. So based off when licensing come in square footage to the classroom space, and that will determine how many kids we'll be able to house in that facility.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Any other questions or discussion with the applicant? Yeah, well, thank you for making this happen, and glad to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our next item is another emerging developer grant in an amount not to exceed $200,000 for a project located at 40 Martin Luther King Jr. Street Southeast. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Kenzie?
Great. Thank you. We're excited to bring this one as well. So I have Fred Morales, who's the applicant for this particular project. So we're excited to have him here as well, alongside Emma Wilkins from Sella Building Company, who is being supportive of the applicant for this particular project. We're requesting an emerging developer grant in the amount of $200,000 for this project. The initial plan, as you can see, there is a property currently on the site. So the intent would be to demo the existing structure and develop that into a mixed-use building that will include 16 residential units and ground floor commercial space. And so right now there is anticipation for those residential units to be between 80 and 120% of area median income. There's still some of those, numbers to crunch still to kind of figure out where that's going to be, but that's the anticipated range at the moment. It would be about a $3.4 million deal to demolish and build up. And this emerging developer grant would help with the pre-development expenses that are associated with this particular type of development. So again, similar to the previous one, we'll be requesting support for the environmental site assessments, phase 1 and phase 2 on the site, geotechnical services as well, alongside survey and architectural design services, and then the pre-construction development services through Sella Building Company. So again, the total request would be up to $200,000 for this project. And I wanted to invite Fred and Emma just to share a few words about the site and his connection to it and why he's excited about this development. So Fred, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning. Thanks, everybody. I've been in the property for about 20 years, and just buying the property next door and the property behind. So thinking, in the future we could build a nice building to help out a little with the community and make the area look a little bit better.
Thank you, Mr. Morales. I often drive by here and I think, what could be here? So it was when I saw the picture in the packet, I was like, this is great. So I think it's, it's very close to bus lines, close to the Silver Line. So right there by the Michigan Works and State of Michigan complex. So I think it's uniquely positioned to be able to connect whoever lives there to a variety of different avenues in the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our last item is an activity report for our Brownfield Authority's Environmental Site Assessment Grant Program for August 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, Mackenzie.
All right. So as you can see here, the lines are a little small for fiscal year 2026, which just started, but we're excited to see that one new project has come through at 2130 Plainfield Avenue. So again, this particular project is anticipating a mixed-use development, but again, still kind of in the early phases of understanding what that's going to look like. So this particular report is highlighting the request that has been made and presented to our team for a phase 1 a phase 1 baseline environmental assessment and due care planning for the site, which is about $4,700. And for fiscal year 2026, $274,412 were appropriated for the ESA grants for fiscal year 2026. And so as you can see here with the breakdown of what was previously approved at the very beginning in July of 2026, and then this new project that is highlighted before you, we have roughly $269,712 left for the fiscal year. So we're excited to see more requests come through between now and July. This is the coming July. So happy to take any questions on this one, but wanted to provide you an update.
Any comments or questions on the activity report? All right, thank you, Mackenzie. Okay, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to other business. I just want to take a moment and acknowledge Guillermo here. This is his last meeting with us on the Brownfield Authority and transitioning to the land bank. So very grateful for the time we've had up here together. And I know we'll see more of each other, but thank you and Best of luck on the land bank.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks so much, Jeff. And thank you to everyone that have allowed me to serve in this board. It's been 8 years serving at the Economic Development Corporation and Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. I was chair for 3.5 years, so definitely I'm gonna miss these activities and all of you. But I'm excited to join the mayor in the next adventure at the Land Bank Authority. So anything you need from me, just let me know. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, any public comment? All right, hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you. Anyone need a break, or we good to roll right into EDC? What's that?
Gentlemen up.
Sure.
Jim and John, would you come up?
Okay, time is 9:11. I call this meeting to order. Do we have any public comment on agenda items? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to minutes approval from our July 23rd, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to our action items. We have a resolution to approve and recommend a project plan for the 2025 Beacon Hill at Eastgate project. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thanks, Chair. I just want to welcome John and Jim. Thank you for being here. Do you want to take a quick minute to introduce yourselves?
Jim Howard. Jim Howard, I'm a neighbor. I've lived 2 houses down from the project for 30 years, since before Beacon Hill existed. It used to be a hospital. So I'm a longtime neighbor and supporter of the project.
Yeah, John Steckety, I have a long relationship with Beacon Hill and the former Michigan Christian home as a vendor, but retired, and now I do some volunteer work and also some project work for Beacon Hill. But it's been rewarding to grow with them over the years, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen.
Awesome, thank you. I want to just give you a quick reminder of what the project is and then invite Jeff Hughley up to talk a little bit more from his perspective. This is, again, a resolution to approve and recommend a project plan. So there's several steps along the journey here to ultimately have the EDC sign off on the issuance of bonds in an amount not to exceed $190 million. This project is ultimately adding capacity for the facility in the amount of 29 rehabilitated units, as well as 149 new construction units. The applicant plans to add approximately 35 full-time equivalent positions and retain 150 full-time positions. And I want to just invite Jeff, who this is closer to the vest on, to come up and talk a little bit more about the project. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Sarah.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Jeff Hughley, President and CEO of Beacon Hill, and I just want to thank the Commission for considering this request. We, as a provider, have been in our service mode for over 65 years on the southeast side of Grand Rapids, starting as Michigan Christian Home, primarily serving older adults with independent living, assisted living, nursing care during this time. We've had numerous issuance through the EDC for bonds which have supported our development, most recently starting in 2009 with the construction of 114 independent living apartment homes, and then moving forward with other reissuances to retire existing debt, take out a few lenders who've been able to provide us with construction money over the years, as well as fund brand new construction like the one we're proposing right now. We're eager to take this next work forward. This is our fourth phase of redevelopment for the site. We purchased the Metropolitan Hospital site in 2005, which was deemed a Renaissance zone at the time as well. We were taking advantage of a really nice accommodation by the city and the state to help propel that project forward with independent credits for property taxes for the residents living there for the first few years, and it was terribly successful. We've been able to sell out practically every phase of growth since then on the independent living side, and in this most recent offering of 101 new independent living units, we've got 90% of those units sold in just a month's worth of sales activity, which demonstrates really what the demand is for this sort of a service mode. We're eager to get moving forward. The principal focus of the project is to help us rebuild a 65-year-old structure which has served seniors with assisted living, memory care, as well as skilled nursing in its older days. That building has been an incredible asset for the community, for the neighborhood especially, but it has lived its best days, and we have been deemed obsolete by our sister organization on Brownfield, and hopefully we'll be coming forward to you with that in the near future. But in the meantime, it is truly an obsolete building. We continue to put capital into it in a form that is mostly sunk cost, unseen things like elevators and boilers and other aspects of work that do benefit the quality of life for the residents, but ultimately just raise the cost of living for them. So our goal is to build state-of-the-art replacement assisted living. As a nonprofit provider, we're able to issue tax-exempt bonds with your grace and approval, and we think that by doing so, we'll be able to deliver a cost-effective state-of-the-art service to the community, which will be enduring. 65 years for a building is a long time under the conditions which we've been operating. We expect the next building will be enduring in its form of work as well. And we're eager to bring all of this together for a vibrant market segment that is only continuing to grow. The senior market is tremendous. Our only limitation right now is land. We would otherwise build more independent living just because the demand is so high for it. But again, I want to thank all of you for your support. I want to commend the city for the way it's supported Beacon Hill over its years of service. We're committed to continuing to provide top-level care in the best way possible, while also responding to the interests of the neighborhood and fitting in as best we can and serving it. So I want to also thank the special directors. The two of you have been tremendous neighbors and support. John didn't mention it, but he's a neighbor living in Ottawa Hills and has been a stalwart of Grand Rapids in his support for us. So thanks to the two of you as well. Also, Jessica Dickinson Wright's been a tremendous counselor on all fronts. So again, thank you, and I appreciate your consideration. Have you got any questions for me? Guillermo, I also want to thank you. You've been around me a long time, and all of you have, really, Kyle. Lynn, I know you too. So thank you. Best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing with us. This is an amazing project, a great opportunity to continue to provide, a dignified, place for our seniors. So thank you for all your work on this, and thank you for being, the directors, for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Any other discussion, Sarah? Are we good to? Okay. So we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to other business. All right, hearing none. Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll adjourn our meeting. Thank you so much. Best of luck with the expansion.